that sort of situation right now in the Red Sea because the military might of the United States cannot prevail against this group of people in Yemen. I don't care what Petey says, and he can bomb the place to pieces. He's not going to stop them. The only way you would stop Ansar is to mount the peninsula there, as it were, by the Bab el-Mandeb or wherever. You'd have to go ashore somewhere, the port of Hodeida or wherever. The Saudis wouldn't do it, and invade. That's the only way. And that's the only way you're going to take Iran down, too, and ensure it doesn't have a nuclear weapon. And I guarantee you, Nima, as I've said many times before, that's a 10-year war, $3-4 trillion, 100,000 casualties. And at the end of it, it'll look sort of like Iraq or worse. So what are we talking about? Please tell me. You tell me. What are we talking about? Who are these people who are running this empire now? Who are these people?
I think the president has acknowledged that Iran, that he's open to an opportunity to clean it all up with Iran, where they come back to the world and be a great nation once again.
Pretty clear from what he said there, even though it was mild-mannered and it seemed explicable. It seemed like a smart thing to say, and on the surface it was, demonstrated an ignorance. Most potently towards the end, where he says Iran can come back into the world and be a nation again. Dude, Iran is already in the world, already 90 million strong, already a nation. This is a country. This is a country with a history of one of the most powerful empires in the history of humans on this earth. And you're talking about bringing them back into the world? What is your prerogative to bring them back in the world? Now, I know he's ignorant, and I don't use that derisively. I know he has not studied the country. He is not versed in Persian history. He's not versed in Southwest Asia. He's not versed in anything but New York real estate, primarily. That's all I can conclude. But this is not the way you do business.
Why do you think, Colonel, President Trump unleashed Prime Minister Netanyahu to resume genocide in Gaza, which unfortunately resulted, I say unfortunately, it was intentional, the killing of 400 civilians in the past 2 days?
I don't think he has any choice. I think when he ran for office, he made certain agreements with major donors. These donors move far beyond just Miriam Adelson. And these donors oblige him to effectively underwrite whatever Mr. Netanyahu wants to do. I thought it was interesting that a recent meeting was set up for the United States with Azerbaijan to talk about cooperation with Israel, but it was set up by Mr. Netanyahu. He called and made the arrangements with Mr. Aliyev, who's the president of Azerbaijan. The State Department did not do it. I think we're very much in the grip of the Israel lobby, and I think President Trump is obliged to go along, and I don't see any evidence that he's going to diverge from that path.
Does he have no choice but to back up Israel militarily when it attacks Iran?
I think so. And keep in mind, you always have the possibility that a war is precipitated somehow by Israel somewhere in the region with Iran. The Iranians respond. And the expectation is, with the buildup of force in the region, we're sending additional carrier battle groups over there right now. The expectation is that we will reinforce whatever the Israelis want to do. We've already done all of the planning for joint strikes and joint strike packages. We're sharing all of the intelligence with our vast satellite arrays with theirs. So I think it's a foregone conclusion. I can't predict when or how, but I think it's going to happen.